At Carrabba's Italian Grill, people always seem to be saying, wow! Especially now, because you can take home our delicious sauté-to-order spaghetti and homemade meatballs made with our family recipe absolutely free.
Homemade spaghetti and meatballs for free? Just wow!
Order one of your Carrabba's favorites, Chicken Brian, Chicken Marsala, Pollo Rosa Maria, or our Chicken Trio, and take home made-from-scratch spaghetti and meatballs.
For tomorrow night's dinner, free? Wow!
Hurry into Carrabba's today and get free spaghetti and meatballs for tomorrow. Limited time only, now through May 6th. Carrabba's, Italian worth talking about.
Blog Talk Radio.
Caution, the tea is hot. Blow it off first, okay? Dishing tea with Big Meech.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish the tea. And your dish tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling. Hot damn, all this time I'm talking and you did not hear a word I said. Of course you didn't. You know what? I'm real tired of this shit here. Lord have mercy. Okay, we're going to start over and say hello and welcome to the show, my darlings. I've been talking for the last 5 fucking minutes, and I have a difficulty here because my system went out. I had to reboot the damn internet system and thing, and now I am here. So, having said all that, this is an important show, and I think what is happening, something else just came across my desk, and it has just completely unnerved me at the moment. And I'm going to be talking about that in just a few moments. However, let me say this. This is a Don't Come Out of a Bag Wednesday. And you are going to be my co-host today. So if there's anything that's on your mind that you want to talk about, honey, we could talk about it right here, right now. All you have to do is call in 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. And just press the number 1. You can just hit it one time, and that lets me know that you have something to say. And with today, honey, I think I would like to hear from as many people as possible because of what is going on in the state of our union, okay? If you're on the computer and wish to come on in, the tea room is open. Right now I'm the only one in there. But just come on over there. You can interact with everyone there. You can put questions and comments and things up in the tea room as well. However, I will say this. If you come up in here, honey, please be mindful. We are in a technological age, and I say this constantly because now everything is about reading and writing or whatever. We're down to 140 characters, and a lot of times, honey, you may think somebody's trying to neck roll you or let you have it, and that may not be the case. So because you're not able to hear anyone's vocal inflections and carrying on, you may not know that, they're not trying to let you have it. They're just being lighthearted. So while you're over here, please dish your tea responsibly, because if I come in and find that you're cutting up, I'm going to cut you out, okay? Having said all that, let me go here, because I believe I may have some new people coming in listening to us for the first time, so you have to understand that dishing tea is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program is not intended for children or anyone who is not part of mature or responsible enough to handle the situation. So your listening discretion is advised. I will repeat. Dishing tea with Big Meech is for mature audiences, and the language and the subject matters that you hear on this program is not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the situation. So your listening discretion is advised. Sweetheart, I know today especially, I'm going to have a lot of colorful expressions and all of that, honey. I'm over 40. I've earned the right to every 3, 4, 5, 16, 27, 52 letter and or syllable word that comes out of my mouth. So if you're at work, now is the time for you to grab your headphones and or turn your volumes down to a respectful level. If you have children around, now is the time to put them in the other room to watch Dora, to watch SpongeBob, Bert and Ernie, whoever the case may be, because now is the time for the grown and sexy to become the seasoned and the sophisticated, okay? So having said all that, honey, please know, I don't know what bag I'm coming out of. Just know that I'm coming out of one, okay? And how relevant, because it is a Don't Come Out of a Bag Wednesday, and as I said, you are my co-host, so whatever is on your mind, honey, we could talk about it right here and right now. However, if your ass come out of a bag on me, I'm going to come out of a bigger bag, and it's going to be on and popping. You understand where I'm coming from? You feel what I'm saying today. Even if it means I take your ass and hang up on you and discontinue the call, honey, that there will be an option. So having said all that, be mindful, honey, that there's where we are. So having all that, let me now regroup. Because here, the opening, honey, I'm just so pissed at this damn thing right now, tearing up my opening the way that it did with computer glitches and carrying on. So what I will do, let me take a commercial break at this particular moment and let my sponsor say a few words. When we come back out of this commercial break, I'm going to open up the floor to you. I'm going to start with a couple of things that's on my mind, and either you could talk about what I want to talk about, or whatever is on yours, we can go there. So having said that, let me go here, and we'll be back in just a few moments, okay?
Double Exposure Media Relations is a full-service public relations, marketing, and artist development firm specializing in urban culture and lifestyle. Spearheaded by the Henry Hingers of hip-hop, Mr. Angelo Ellaby, Double Exposure serves to educate its clients about the dollars and cents of the music industry. For more information about Double Exposure Media Relations, call 201-224-6510. 201-224-6510. Double Exposure Media Relations.
Dishing Tea Entertainment, deliciously exposing your palate to a cornucopia of rainbow-colored dreams and a black-and-white reality, while cultivating the masses through a delicate blend of stage, screen, television, radio, print, and social media initiatives. For more information about Dishing Tea Entertainment, call Big Meech at 404-914-5610 or visit www.dishingtea.com.
Maggie Lee's Community Center offers a unique array of programs designed to improve the lifestyle and well-being of the community. Located at 7700 Puritan Avenue in Detroit, Maggie Lee's Community Center specializes in child care and latchkey services, as well as senior citizen activities and block club functions. For more information about Maggie Lee's Community Center, call 313-737-9042. Maggie Lee's Community Center, giving the people a chance to show how much they have to contribute.
El mundo no teme, orará que no nos juntémonos toditos.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in and wish to come in on the conversation, please feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. Now, before I get into today's topic, let me have a couple of special announcements for you. Most of you know that Atlanta's Black Gay Pride is coming up. As a matter of fact, it will be next weekend, for Labor Day weekend. Most specifically speaking, I am going to be hosting 2 different conferences for Black Gay Pride this year here in Atlanta, of course. On Friday, August 29th, I will be hosting It's All About the Tea. How appropriate, right? It's All About the Tea. We will be featuring Dr. Marcy Bowers, and this particular conference will focus on transgender issues that a lot of our trans community are facing. What we're going to talk about specifically, we're going to go into health care under the new Affordable Health Care Act. What does that mean to a trans person, how they're able to receive their treatments and carrying on under this particular umbrella, with all of the other health care issues and health insurance issues that they face in conjunction with the rest of the world. But particularly because they're transitioning, things get a little bit blurry and into what's considered to be cosmetic and not. So we're going to talk about health care issues. We're also going to get into health issues that are body-specific, okay? And we're going to talk about those things because oftentimes those things often get overlooked because the gender that one body was assigned during transition does not necessarily exempt them from some of the health issues assigned to that body. For instance, a trans woman may still have to be concerned about prostate cancer. A trans man may still have to be concerned with cervical cancer and things of that nature. So there are illnesses and health issues that are body-specific. So during transitioning, those are things that a lot of folks forget about, they overlook, and we're going to look into those issues. Also, we're going to talk about the cultural differences because in the trans community, there's a lot of cultural differences that happen during transitioning. You know, our Caucasian sisters and brothers, honey, see things a little bit differently than our African American or persons of color. So we're going to talk about that with Dr. Marcy Bowers. And for those of you who are not aware of her, she herself is a trans woman, and she also is one of the leading doctors who performs the genitalia reassignment surgery. Yes, that's a new term to use. As GRS, gender reassignment, but they're coining it as genitalia reassignment surgery, and I think I like that. So she's going to be on the panel for Friday the 29th. On Saturday the 30th, we'll be talking about the fight for supremacy. And this here is going to be dealing with the whole masculine versus feminine energy that we have within LGBT culture, particularly in the black culture, that there seems to be a stickler that we love to talk about within our culture. However, I've designed a little twist in it. We're going to take a look at S&M leather culture and the transgender drag culture, and we're going to look at them culture versus lifestyle, because oftentimes folks see the leather community and think that that's just butch drag or masculine drag. Anybody who wants to be all manly and studly or whatever, all you got to do is put on some chaps and a leather harness or a cap or whatever, and that's supposed to be indicative of your manhood, versus the opposite for those who are, hair, makeup, pumps, lashes, and carrying on. And a lot of times people think that they're just the flip side of the coin of one another, but they don't understand the lifestyle of each. Okay? So that's going to be very interesting. And on my panel there, we have confirmed the elder Edgar Gaines, formerly known as Bobby Blake. We also have Malcolm Travers. He's from Male Mind Media. We also have Dana Prosser, who is a part of the leather community, and trans as well. And those are the ones confirmed. I right now believe that Dee Dee Chambly, who was our guest last week, will be on that panel as well. That's not confirmed yet, but I will have all that for you. So that's going to be what we're talking about on Saturday. On both days, the times are from 2 to 4. That's going to be at the Georgian Terrace Hotel, the host hotel for ITLA Atlanta, for Atlanta's Black Gay Pride. So if you have any information or want any more information about that, go to inthelife.atlanta.org for more information on that. Or you can call me directly or email me, bigmeech@dishingtea.com, or just call me 404-914-5610, and I can give you information on that, okay? Also, this coming Sunday, the 24th, I will be interviewed with someone who is a friend of the show who has been behind the scenes with me for a little piece of a minute, and that there is the Wolfster himself. This y'all here, I'm going to be cute because I'm a saver. But Wyatt O'Brien Evans, honey, and the Woe Show, which is on Papi Chulo Radio, he is going to be having some fun with me, and that's going to be this coming Sunday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So to catch that, go to PapiChuloRadio.com. That's PAPICHULO Radio.com at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. And you can catch it there. And for more information, you can go to his website at Wyatt Evans. That's WYATT Evans.com. Just like James Evans from Good Times, same spelling. Okay, so that's WyattEvans.com. And you too could be a whoa man, honey. Go on to the Whoa Show, child. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, okay? So I invite you guys to come and check me out over there. And then once we do that, he's going to be joining us and dishing his tea with us. So it's going to be, I won't call it a tit for tat, but we're just going to say bump that shit, okay? Y'all don't understand what that means in a minute. So now, having said that, and for special announcements, let me get into it. Hey, Road to Stardom Radio is in the tea room. Hey, baby, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I'm glad I had the little laugh because this had just come across my desk prior to us coming on the air, which is probably why I had the technical difficulties in the beginning because I got so much shit open on this damn thing. But this came across my desk, and I'm going to bring this in along with what we're going to talk about on the show. Today's show, I say the State of the Union, are we in civil war? Okay? So that there is my question. And I want us to talk for real about the State of the Union. With all of the hoopla that's going on with the Michael Brown case in Ferguson, Missouri, I am compelled to ask the question, are we in civil war or civil unrest? We've been talking about the increased amounts of police brutality on here. And now we are seeing that we're in a state of confusion where the National Guards are on the streets. They're using tear gas or rubber bullets, and then they brought the dogs out again, and they're being used to control the people. And the pictures that we're seeing have become identical to that from 40 years ago during the Civil Rights Movement and the protesting carried on. Okay, what can we do to reclaim our sense of peace, our rights as citizens to freedom of expression, our independence in this quote-unquote great country? Another thing that we're going to be talking about today is I want to pay homage to Robin Williams. You know, we lost him. We also lost Lauren Bacall the day after. But more, with Robin, he took his own life dealing with depression. And I want to know, when are we as a country going to take mental health or make it relevant in our quest for health care in this country? Look at Andre Johnson, also known as Killer Beez from the Wu Tang Clan. Y'all know, this was brought to my attention again today, but this happened back in April of this year, where through depression, this man decided to sever his penis from his body and jump off of a second-floor window in a suicide attempt because he was depressed based upon him not being able to see his children and carry on. and I'll get into that in a minute. But what can we do, to bring about the awareness for ongoing mental health care in this country? Now, I'm very serious about this because as we're starting to see, the world itself has just gone fucking crazy. And I want you to know that because here, I'm going to read this story to you. This is what came across my desk, and I am so fucking outraged with this. It is absolute, because it's heinous. And I'm telling you now, this is going to get very graphic. Right, graphic with my mouth. Okay. But just listen to this story, and you guys can, then come to the radio, come to the callers, and we'll take your calls in just a few moments, okay? But I want you to hear this, and when you hear this, you will understand why I'm pissed. No, I'm beyond pissed. I'm fucking furious. It says here, this is coming from the Bella Rico Project. This is dated for yesterday, and it says, boy who played with dolls is tortured to death by a couple. It says, remember Jessica Dutro, the Oregon mother, who, together with her boyfriend, beat her toddler to death because she thought he was gay. A similar case surfaced in California, and it's just heartbreaking. Details are below via the Los Angeles Times, but be warned, they are graphic and involve the vicious beating, homophobic taunting, and murder of a child. It says, before 8-year-old Gabriel Fernandez was allegedly beaten to death by his mother and her boyfriend, they doused him with pepper spray, forced him to eat his own vomit, and locked him in a cabinet with a sock stuffed in his mouth to muffle his screams, according to the court records made public on Monday. Gabriel's mother, Pearl Fernandez, called 911, catch the date, on May 22nd, 2013, to report that her son was not breathing. She told sheriff's deputies who arrived at the apartment that Gabriel had fallen and hit his head on a dresser, according to the testimony. When paramedics arrived, they found Gabriel naked in a bedroom, not breathing, with a cracked skull, 3 broken ribs, and BB pellets embedded in his lung and growing. He died 2 days later. It was just like every inch of this child had been abused, testified James Cermak, a Los Angeles County Fire Department paramedic. Fernandez and the boyfriend, Isuro Aguirre, I think that's pronounced correctly, deliberately tortured the boy to death, hiding their tracks with forged doctor's notes and lies to the authorities. Deputy District Attorney Jonathan Hatimi told the grand jury for 8 straight months he was abused, beaten, and tortured more severely than many prisoners of war, he said. The abuse worsened in the months leading up to Gabriel's death, according to testimony from 2 of his siblings, both whom were minors. They said Gabriel was forced to eat cat feces, rotten spinach, and his own vomit. He slept in a locked cabinet and wasn't let out to go to the bathroom. Fernandez and Aguirre called Gabriel gay, punished him when he played with dolls, and forced him to wear girls' clothes to school, the siblings said. Fernandez and Aguirre hit Gabriel with a belt buckle, a metal hanger, a small bat, and a wooden club, Gabriel's brother said. Their mother once jabbed Gabriel in the mouth with a bat and knocked out several teeth, according to the testimony. Investigators searching the family's apartment after Gabriel's death found blood stains, BB gun holes, and a wooden club covered in his blood, according to the testimony. On the day of the fatal beating, Fernandez began hitting Gabriel because he didn't want to pick up his toys, his other brother testified. She dragged him into the bedroom where Aguirre joined her, and the siblings heard screamings and bangings and said, and then it all stopped, said the brother, 13. It just went quiet. Gabriel died as a result of blunt force trauma and child neglect, James Kemp Wright, of the L.A. County Coroner's Office told the grand jury. "I've never seen this many skin injuries on one child," he says. According to the Times, which reviewed more than 800 pages of court records, Gabriel's case slipped through the cracks on multiple occasions. Reports that Gabriel was being abused and feeling suicidal were investigated, but he was never removed from the home. Agents never checked underneath Gabriel's clothes for abuse-related injuries, and they never even wrote up a detailed report because they, quote, concluded there was no evidence of abuse. Pearl Fernandez, 30, and Isuro Aguirre, 34, are facing charges of capital punishment and a special circumstance of torture. They are currently awaiting trial. Let's hope little Gabriel received the justice in death that he was denied in life. Now, mind you, this just was posted yesterday at 5 o'clock yesterday, but I quoted the date because this is a year old, and it was just made public. Okay? Now, why am I fucking outraged about this particular story here? Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, it's gone public so far in the late evenings of the week. This is over a year ago. Okay, that this happened, and they're just not releasing the records and stuff to make it public, even though, you know, it becomes public record once the police get involved in everything. But they're just now making these kinds of things relevant. Number two, as you heard, the fuckers that went down there to go and do the reports or whatever, I am so sick and tired of child welfare services. When we sit up there and hear that court cases have slipped through the cracks, we have countless children who are being abused in their homes, and the only thing they can say is, "Oh, that slipped through the cracks." What the fuck is not happening? Now, to their credit, we do understand that a lot of these children, honey, they're overworked. You know, a lot of them may have 50, 60 cases per worker. They don't have enough people in there to hire, which I have a problem with because we have so many different social workers and carry it on now. Everybody that got degrees and things, but yet the cities and the states will not hire these people so that the caseloads can be evenly distributed so that we can reduce the stress, so that we can reduce the mental anguish, so that we can get the kids somewhere, you know, out of these particular homes. Now, that's one thing. The other part of this is perhaps they don't have no place to put them because then you sit up there and got a foster care system that's all fucked up. You put the kids in foster care and folks don't want to care about the kids. All they want is the government money so they can fix up their damn houses and shit and end up neglecting the children anyway. See, I'm having a real major problem with this. And here's the big one, and y'all know I'm going here. For those of you who are traditional Christians, I'm not going to question your salvation or anything like that, but I am going to say this. This is the type of bullshit that happens every time we get the "you gonna burn in hell" sermon, or "we gonna get the burn in hell" look, or "you a sinner," or "you are this," or "you are that." Even though it's not said in this article that those folks said that they were any kind of religious anything. These are the kinds of practices that happen because of what religion and what this society wants to deem that gay is wrong. See, this is one of them, you're going to beat the devil out of them shit, and the kids sit up there and go through all these goddamn changes, and the kids suffer because you ain't got your shit together. Stop trying to play God, damn it. That ain't your motherfucking call. That ain't your call. How dare you? How fucking dare you? I am outraged by that. I am fucking outraged. This is the kind of shit that ends up happening when we get folks to sit up there and want to say what is and what ain't gay. You going to take your frustrations out on a child like that? How dare you? What is that? You going to make the child eat his own vomit and carry it on and cat shit? What the fuck is that? What is that? Yes, the fuck I am outraged. I am outraged. How dare you? 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 And I want somebody I want you to challenge me, please. If you feel anything about that was right, if you feel that those parents were right, I dare you to call in. I want you to. I want you to. Please do. I'm not going to cuss you out. I ain't going to cuss you out. Let me control myself. I just want to hear the other side of this story. I want to hear somebody try to rationalize this to make me hear, or at least make me say, I see where you are, but I still disagree with you. If anybody got some kind of sense with that, please let me know. Because right now, I ain't got it, and I don't think I'm going to get there. You ain't going to change my mind, but if somebody can say something very intelligently, I will entertain it. But if you come out of a bag, no, I'm loaded. I'm loaded. I'm loaded. I'm AK-47 loaded, and I got backup. Because this bullshit here makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. And the sad thing about it is that I'm pissed because this is just getting to the radar. But what about all the cases that haven't? What about all of those cases where you got kids being beat up all the time? That there is bullying. The kids on the street corners and stuff get that all the time. I was one of them. We got bullied because we were different, because it was gay, because of this, and because of what you want to say ain't man enough and all that old bullshit. Really? Okay, I dare you. I dared you. I dared you. Now, okay, I'm off that soapbox. Now let's get on to this one. Okay, because I don't have cable right now, and that's a good thing, because this whole thing with Michael Brown and the kids down here in Ferguson, which is a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri, okay? I'm understanding that the case is this young man was 18, freshly graduated, and as he was walking down the street, he was accosted by a police officer and was told to get out of the street, did not cooperate. The officer fired. Somehow there was a chase involved, and they continued to fire, and the boy is dead. Okay? Now, that's it in a nutshell. I've been doing my research on this and wanted to come into grips to find out what's happening. And in looking at this, apparently there's video footage of him holding up the little convenience store. I guess he may have taken some cigarettes or something. According to the video, he didn't take much. He just reached over the counter. He grabbed something, roughed up the attendant for half a second, just pushed him around a little bit, and then left the store. Now, from what I'm understanding and what I've seen, is said that the police were there on a robbery suspicion or whatever. However, the thing that has been most consistent in everything that I've read, everything that I saw, everything that's being reported, is that the boy was walking down the street. He was unarmed. He was accosted by the police officer. He gave chase or whatever. He ran away or however that was. He got away from him for a second. Shots were fired. He turned around with his hands up. More shots were fired, and they killed this boy. Okay? Now, according to the autopsy, and I heard this Monday, the autopsy, the first one was done, and they really didn't release much information. There was a second one that was done that was a private autopsy, and CNN was reporting that this child was shot 6 times. And I think that the part that's getting me is that there was a bullet that went into the top of his head, and according to this report, it ricocheted because it went through the top of his head, it come out his eye socket, and then ricocheted back in some kind of way. Okay? And I am distraught because as we have seen St. Louis or this particular town, honey, has gone up in fucking smoke in some regard. They've been looting. They've been carrying on. They done brought National Guards in. You know, they got tanks rolling up and down the street. They done tear gassed everybody. They have rubber bullet these folks and carried on. And in some instances, I've seen pictures where they got the dogs. Now, here we are in 2014. And we are now reverted back to a time before I was even here. You talking 67, 68, 69. I was born in 70. Okay, so I wasn't even there when they had the dogs and stuff like that. Okay, so here we are reverting back to a time in history. And again, how about it? It's in the South. Missouri is in the South. Here we are with this same kind of race war starting or whatever. A lot of folks don't want to attribute this to race. A lot of folks don't want the race card played. They want this, they want that. And I'm having problems with that because from what I'm seeing and what everything is being said, I think that this child, being that he was 6'4", somewhere around 300 pounds, I believe he was an intimidating presence. And I must say this, because I'm 6'4", now I'm 300 pounds. At the time when I was 370, 400, standing at 6 feet 4 inches tall, I have always been a commanding presence. My brother, rest in peace, my brother was 6'7", okay, and my brother was about 370 at 6'7", okay. There was nowhere that we could walk. Anytime we was on the streets of Detroit, I always fit a motherfucking description, and I've got roughed up in my teen years or whatever. I was thrown on cars or this, that, and the other, and the only thing I got was one time I was told I was out after curfew. It wasn't no apology or nothing. I was out after curfew, and thank God I didn't fight back because the one cop at one time grabbed his billy club on me and was about to hit me had I not, complied. Okay? So I'm not understanding what I'm trying to get into this. I was hoping to get someone who was in law enforcement to come on, but he wasn't able to. He has medical issues, and I'm sending out praise reports for you, Milk. However, if you are in the sound of my voice and are in law enforcement, I'm encouraging you to come in because I don't want to be one-sided to where we're like the people, and the people are outraged, and they should be because as targeted folks, we're seeing this too damn much. We're seeing this. Now, when I heard the story, I was getting confused with the other guy who got choked to death. I'm thinking this was one and the same, not knowing this was a whole separate case that happened, what was that, 2 weeks apart from one another about? Okay, yeah. Let me go here. I'm coming to you first, 717, because you keep hitting your button and coming out. You're hitting in, going out. I'm coming to you first, 717-265.
Sir, it's John in Pennsylvania. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, baby. How are you?
Okay, here's my perspectives so far on the Michael Brown case. When it first came out and I saw the witnesses say that he had his hands up in the air, I said, okay, this police officer is guilty. Now, today I see that the police officer has a fractured orbit bone, possibly in a skirmish with Michael Brown. And here's what I'm going to say, sir. I don't care either way if he's guilty or not. I think the policeman has to go to be convicted because I'm willing to sacrifice one person for the rest of the country if this guy is let off and not found guilty and everybody goes into full-blown riots. I don't care. I'm not willing to. That's one person. If he's let off, it's possibly thousands, millions of dollars in damages to our big cities, and I say one person, let him go down, innocent or not, if it means saving our country from what could happen. I like your thoughts on that.
Interesting. You know what? That's an interesting perspective. I would join you in that. There has to be something. If he does not, he can't go scot-free. He cannot go scot-free. And here's where I am. Because, again, if he is in fear for his life, this is what got me. if you are in fear of your life and you shot these damn bullets, okay, you shot this gun, where is it that 6 times was supposed to get him up off you? All right, maybe he's a menacing presence, but where in the hell did you find time to shoot him in the top of his fucking head? Because all the other shots are under his arm and carrying on. How did you shoot him in the top of his damn head?
Wait, here's my concern, sir, is when the evidence comes out, these lawyers are very smart. Both sides are going to put out a case that looks real good in their favor. I'll go back to the George Zimmerman Trayvon Martin case. I think George Zimmerman was guilty, but by that technicality, stand your ground in the court of law, he was let go, which was technically right, but anybody in their right mind know he's probably guilty. Now, on the other hand, I'm going to go back to the O.J. Simpson case where I thought he was guilty, but he was let off. So my point being, I don't trust the court system. I think it's flawed, and I'm not willing, if the police officer was innocent, I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry what he's going through. But one person cannot take down the whole country. And, if you look at ISIS, if there's something like a big riots that, going on in our cities, you could have outside people coming in that aren't even involved in this taking part. So our country's fragile right now. And like the one lady, the senator or representative said in Missouri, if this police officer's let off, Ferguson is going to look like a picnic compared to what happened. And I'm not willing for that to happen. I say the officer must go down. If somehow he's innocent, which I don't know if he is or not, I'm sorry, but one person cannot take down the whole country because people are in uproar over this right now. Tensions are high, and I don't want to be worried about, one person taking down everybody.
You know what? That's a wonderful point. That there is a wonderful point because see, here's another thing why something has to be done, because even he who if he, let's say he was defending himself, I'm gonna take that route. If he was defending himself, there is evidence that show in the autopsy report and the folks who were witnessing saying that the body stayed on the ground for hours. No one called for backup. The boy probably had a chance. No, the coroner said the bullet in the head, there was no chance of survival the way how that bullet was. However, at the same time, the body just stayed there. We didn't know that at the time. The body was out there for hours before anybody called an ambulance.
That was
before
terrible.
An ambulance showed up.
That's absolutely inhumane to do something.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of all the outrage, not just you shot this child, but then you left him out like some kind of animal, like roadkill or something. And I don't know how long it took. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say if it happened in a rich, suburban area where someone was shot and killed, they'd have the body out of there within about 5 to 10 minutes.
Exactly.
I agree with you 100%. That was absolutely inhumane, and just for that alone, somebody should take some heat or lose their job. I agree with you. There's no argument that his body should have been out there for 4 hours uncovered.
Exactly. I just saw a picture. Now I don't know how long it had taken them to cover his body, but I just saw a picture on somebody's website before the body was even covered. It was just laying in the street, blood coming from the boy's head and carrying on, and he's just laying in the street. So I don't know where that picture come from or how long it was after it had happened or how long it had been out there. The fact remains is that someone got a picture of this body just in the street, uncovered and just dead like that. And that there is just, and then to find out all the rest of it, it had been laying out there for hours before anybody did anything. I'm sorry. I have to agree with you that something has to be done. Somebody needs to take the heat and go down for it. I'm understanding that the police chief didn't want to release the officer's name, and that there's some controversy there. I'm not well versed in what the chief's thing is on this, but for those of you who got information, bring it on in, because this here, I'm sorry. I was watching something on YouTube, and this one particular guy, his agenda is he's anti-Obama. Okay, that's fine. I don't have the sense to deal with those children. Okay. At the same time, you know, he brought up a point that I thought was very interesting, and I'm gonna throw it out here for everybody else because of what's going on in Gaza and all this other stuff. His point is that the race card is being thrown up here in the States so that it could be the smoke screen, so that whatever is going on in Israel and carrying on and all that shit, it goes up under the radar without getting the fodder and the fervor of the people angry and carrying on, because now we got this to contend with dealing with the race card issue. And I thought that was very interesting.
That's exactly what I was getting at. If you don't do at least something to this guy, okay, you know, convict, you know, at least prosecute him. You know, if he gets out on bail, you can put him in protective custody. But if there's riots on the street, you could actually have groups outside our country, like Hamas, ISIS, that get involved with the riots, kind of like what's going on now with the peaceful protesters, where other groups are getting involved that don't care either way. It's a crazy time right now, and you know, things could blow up if you don't watch out, and to get to the point where it's out of control, and you might not be able to get it back to where it has to be. So you know, I tell you what, I've never really been concerned, like, you know, everyone talks about our country going in civil war, you know, to the point where you don't feel safe, you know, in your own house, you know, to walk the streets. But I think this is one moment in time that it could get to the point where back to the point of no control. And I think whoever's handling this has to be very careful, just not in our country over, you know, Michael Brown, but worldwide. Other countries, sir, are looking at us right now, what's going on in Ferguson, and they see weakness. They see weakness in the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, interesting. And you know what? I would give you that. I would give you that on that, because a lot of, I'm not real versed with foreign policy, but I do run into a lot of visitors. I would use that term. I don't like to say foreigners. I would say visitors who come here, who are here on vacation or whatever, and the attitude that they have about Americans and the culture here, it becomes a shock. I was talking with someone on the train, and he said when he first moved here, only thing he knew about American black folks was Good Times. And I said, excuse me? I said, Good Times hasn't been on the air in syndication, honey, in over 30 years. He said, yeah, but we got it in reruns when it was over there, you know, where he came from. And that's all he knew was that kind of struggle, that and the buffoonery and stuff that we see on the television. So when he came here, that's how he addressed and was expected to have to act towards other African Americans or persons of color based on his assessment from the television. And I was like, interesting. There's something on YouTube, as a matter of fact, that I say is interesting as well. It's a comedy show. It is Asians in this whole little script or whatever, and how they're addressing one another. It's supposedly Asian ghetto or whatever, and everything is, what's up, my nigga? You know, and it's a kiki laugh or whatever. And when I saw this, I gagged. I was like, what is this? And how they the little boy cussing out his mama and carrying on, and it's funny. This is a comedy show for them.
I can tell you firsthand, sir. My wife is Filipino, and I lived in the Philippines. I lived in Philippines for a good amount of time. And you're exactly right. Everything that happens in our culture in other countries is about 10 to 20 years behind. I mean, in the Philippines, you'll see like TV shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then 5 years later it'll be a Filipino who wants to be a millionaire. So these other countries just don't understand us, and I agree with you 100%. They just don't understand our politics. And but hey, sir, I'll leave you at that. It's a great show, a great topic. will you be running more shows on this in the coming days?
I sure will. I sure will. Keep your ears open, baby.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. You do the same. Thank you so much. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. 248-915. I'm bringing you on up in here. Come on, baby.
Hey, darling. How you doing?
I am all of the above and beyond, and I'm a little bit more pissed, child, because, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am just as pissed as you are, and you know this shit makes no fucking sense. And it's getting to the point that killing black people specifically is okay. It's almost back to the time of slavery when you just hang a nigga. Now instead of hanging a nigga, you hold on. It's now from the fact that you hang a nigga till you shoot the motherfucker and leave him in the streets like dogs and animals.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, we're from niggas to motherfuckers. Okay, now how about that one?
Hello.
Okay, we done went from hang a nigga to shoot that motherfucker. Come on now.
You can kill a nigga for some Skittles that he bought. You can kill a nigga because his music is too loud in the car and get away with it. The law gets them off. There is no justice. It comes across like we are just third parties because now the foreigners that come in get treated better than we do.
How about that one?
It is so fucked up. And then you're left with no voice and no justice. Y'all just niggas, y'all don't deserve shit. We are so
and that
fucking
seems to be the
tired.
attitude, yeah. That seems to be. And here's something that I found to be rather interesting because this is where it mirrors Trayvon. Because the boy, Michael, was not from Ferguson. He's there visiting his grandmother. So, again, we are in a neighborhood that you are not from. Okay? And we have yet, this particular guy who goes, and things. Now, this is not to excuse his behavior. I want folks to hear me clearly. Okay? Yeah. This is not to excuse his behavior because if he stole something from that store, which according to this video camera from the store, it looks as though he did. But we do know for certain that he roughed up the guy who came from behind the counter. Okay, now that there is evident. Okay?
Yeah. And in that perspective, he was wrong. He was wrong for taking from the store, but at the same time, we're talking about the most. Let's just give him the benefit of saying he took $20 worth of shit.
Right.
Was that worth his life?
His life, okay?
Was it worth his life? And the reason that they killed him is that when they told him to stop, he kept going. Was that worth his life?
Right.
And then the way they cover it up, in the media, they left that boy laying in the streets in the sun, and people were looking at his body while they sat around and talked.
That's what baby. That's the part that's not gelling with me. That right there is the part that is not gelling with me. I'll tell you why. As a security officer, okay, if I'm having a problem and I need backup, I know what the hell to say on the radio to get me back up immediately. Okay?
And the fucked up part about it is, go ahead.
If his life was that much in danger, okay, and he's defending himself, where in the hell was the backup, number one? And two, in a case of I got to defend myself because I need backup, you automatically call for medical attention and carry it on to come in. That shit is what we learned. That's what a security guard does. So you can't tell me a police officer don't do that shit. Why didn't they have the damn medical folks to come out there and left that boy in, they say hours. I don't know how many hours, the term is hours plural. So I'm guesstimating between 3 to 4 hours because according to what I'm seeing, that there's around about the amount of time that body sat in the street before anybody came to do this.
This is the fucked up part. Even though he did what he did, he was still in sight. You could see him. He didn't take off his run like that. He was walking, and they told him to come here. And he didn't come. Baby, that was the time to call back up if you were scared of his size. And when he could provide y'all, they didn't do that. They didn't get no backup. They just killed him. And we are so tired of being treated like slaves. You know, everybody, all the white folks, most of the white folks is mad that we got a black president because he's still considered just a nigger. You look at this last election and how they fought everything. You look how they fought the Obamacare. Everything that this man has tried to do gets a negative response. But hold on, I'm hot about this one, but I'm really hot about this baby. Woo!
Come on,
honey. You know, people are so inflamed about homosexuals. You mistreat this baby for what you think he's going to be.
Right.
And he's a baby. Basically, he's a little kid, and he's, feeling him. He's coming into himself. He's got sisters and brothers. Honey, sometimes you don't know what the hell to be. You don't know what's going on, and then you're abusing him in the house. You really confuse me. And then the fact that you say you doing it because God don't like homosexuals, let's stone him, and doing all of that. That gives support and reverence to the ill treatment of people that are different than the norm. And the norm is considered to be heterosexual, Christ-fearing, God-loving Americans. And in the foreign countries, honey, they come over here from the foreign countries and they have to sneak to be gay. You know, we grew up not necessarily being out. We couldn't be out because I had to fight every day. In between elementary and high school, I went to 7 schools because I had to fight every day to be me.
Right.
Exactly. And when I grew up, half of the motherfuckers that was fighting me, I ran into at the bar and still was trying to fuck me.
How about it, Mr. Aubrey Brown?
Oh, honey. Really, bitch?
Right.
You know, and you look back on all of this, and you like, baby, we fought every day, and this was really about you fucking me? This is what this was about? I mean, I'm talking about from kindergarten.
Right.
They used to call me names in kindergarten. 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. And then when I got up to 5th and 6th grade, baby, my ass filled out and my chest filled out. And then they trying to fight me, but then they tussle me down, honey, and feel on me. And drag on me.
Uh-huh. Right. We got to play wrestling and shit. Yeah.
But I was the kind that was waiting to cut and get your ass back.
See?
I hit this boy in the head with a brick. I mean, I had to fight literally every day to be me. So that's why now I walk proud. I had to work for this, baby. No, you're gonna respect me. But then when you get to a point where you feel like you deserve respect and you're not gonna be mistreated by the police, you know, with the boy getting killed in Florida. The young people right now are just like, oh no, fuck the police.
I was trying to play that. I was going to play that song by NWA, and you know that song came out in 1985, honey. Fuck the police.
Yeah.
1985, and here we are, damn near 30 years later, saying the same shit.
But then this is the real part that a lot of people don't understand dealing with the police. A lot of people become police because they got bricks on their shoulder. They've been abused, and they want to stand up and get people back for whooping their ass when. So now you got a badge and a gun. So instead of getting your ass whooped, you can shoot motherfuckers up and mistreat them. You know, I've had conversations with the police, baby. They've come to my house with my lover. We were into it, and the man's going to stand at the door and say, okay, you girls need to get it together. And I said to him, who the fuck are you talking to? What's your name? I wrote his name down, and I wrote his badge number and told him he was being disrespectful. And if he came out of his mouth again, I'm calling your boss.
Right.
One thing we have to do as black folks is learn the law.
Ha!
We have got to learn the law and how to use it to our advantage. You got to stop trying to run from them and stand and deliver with them. And if you are informed, they will leave you the fuck alone. If
because
you're not
they have no
performing on them and trying to run from them, they will leave you the fuck alone. Your best weapon, and this is everything we deal with, is not your physical strength. It's your mental strength and your knowledge.
That's right.
Stop trying to run from these motherfuckers. And when you really get a motherfucker and you know what you're talking about, you piss them off so bad.
So bad.
Honey, they get so mad at you. Trust me. When he couldn't fucking stand in my house and disrespect me, he's going to tell me, you got to come outside. Why? Why I got to come outside? I'm disabled. I'm not coming outside. Well, I said come outside, and I said no. So,
exactly.
And the reason I have to come out because I haven't done anything at this point that you can prove. Where is your proof to stop me? Where is your proof to talk to me this way? So, if you put that together and give me a reason, I'm not doing nothing you say. And you don't run. You stand there and talk to them. What are the grounds for you to say this to me? You have no grounds to say this to me, so you're not going to mistreat me. And if you stop and turn and give them the knowledge that you have, it's a different ball game. A lot of us, because of how the police have been treating us as of late, we take off running. Right. Nothing gets you together as fast as you stopping and turning and saying, what's the problem? Why are you stopping me? Why are you chasing me? And then while you stopping, especially if you outside in public, you call all the people that you see hanging around, hey, come over here, I need witnesses.
Exactly.
And they can't do shit about it. And that fucks them up. Then they can't mistreat you.
Exactly.
You know, it's my understanding he was dragging the boy on the side of the car because he was running, and he shot him then. So if the boy had stood there and said, hey, come over here, I need witnesses, y'all, it'd have been a different ball game. He'd be living today. When they get a moment where they can do you, where they can talk to you any kind of way, where they can treat you any kind of way because you ain't smart enough to stop them, then it's a party for them motherfuckers.
Exactly. Let me bring up in here, I think I know who this is. Come on up in here, caller. You know you my anonymous, all the ones. Come on up in here. What you got to say? This you, Lee?
It's not that anonymous. It's not that anonymous.
Get into it.
All right. I want to go back to the
legal and medical part of this shooting. Now, once we, by me being in the know of this, the problem now is, and listen to what I'm saying very carefully, because once you're pronounced dead on the scene, no one can touch that body. You're not even supposed to cover the body, whether it's for hours or days or whatever, because now it has become an illegal matter. See, you really don't want anybody pronounced dead at the street. You want them to be taken to a hospital. But once someone says they're dead in the street, everything stops until the coroner's office arrives.
Really?
Yes, the coroner coroner's office has to be notified, and you can no longer do anything with that body. You're really not even supposed to cover it at that point if it's not already covered.
And you can't touch it. You can't
touch it. You can't do anything to it. Because then it's a crime scene already. But then it will become a crime scene against you if you touch it. Because, see, you could have moved evidence.
And you don't want to tamper with the evidence.
Exactly.
Evidence.
And if you throw a sheet over it or anything over it, you could blow something away. See, it could be something as little as a leaf or a cigarette butt or anything. That could be in evidence. So let's look at it from that standpoint, not from the standpoint
of being
disrespectful.
That's why we got this going, because I've never had to deal with a dead body before. I've always known the coroners had to be called, and they do take forever to get there. They take 45 minutes to an hour before they show up on the damn scene.
Well, a perfect example is this case that was here in Detroit, and that was maybe a couple of months ago. It probably wasn't that long. But this girl got into an accident, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And she was pronounced dead there at the scene, in the car. People were running up to the car, family members and all that. The body was just out there for everybody to see and do whatever. And some guy went to Walmart or something other and got something to cover the body because the police said they no longer carry tarps to throw over the body in Detroit.
Right.
Yeah. So if you get shot and killed in the street, you're just shot and killed there until the coroner's office arrives.
Yeah.
Wow.
And because the details are so valid right now and changing, if they touch the body, they mess up the crime scene.
Exactly. Yeah. Now that right. Okay.
Or, they mess that thing up. I can kind of understand that.
So
but
I don't think
the reason the people are so pissed off is because they don't know the procedures and they don't know the law.
Right.
How you take some of the control back is to be informed. Your answers aren't in groups. Your answers are in books. Your answers are, baby, watch Law and Order and all them kind of shows.
It was correct for them not to touch the body after it was pronounced dead.
Okay.
Not to do anything.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But at the same time, like you say, that there has to become now. Folks got to inform themselves because everybody's high on emotions. Because the whole thing of it is why they ain't do nothing. They just go leave them sit out there. Yeah. So we got emotions.
The message right now with black people is fuck the police. See how they doing that boy? He's laying there in the streets and nobody understands the law.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. If you know your rights, if you know what's going on, if you inform yourself, things are a little bit different. In a lot of police aren't our enemies in a lot of ways, not all of them. And sometimes we have to step back and not let our emotions take control and deal with it from a legal perspective. There was a thing I just watched on Facebook. It was a white guy walking down the street with a gun that was out, and the police pulled up on him and asked for ID and the whole 9 yards. And he says, "No, I'm not giving it to you." And the policeman was trying to take it. He said, "Sir, please remove your hands from me before I file charges. I'm registered to carry this, and I have a gun out here. Am I bothering anybody?" And the officer was like, "No." "Well, then why are you asking to see my ID and my gun?" "Well, we just want to make sure." "Make sure what?" "That you're not illegal." "Am I doing anything illegal?" "You have to have a reason to stop me."
Right.
And the way it played, it left you speechless because, again, a lot of times, especially in the black community, we want to say fuck the police, but we don't know how to fuck them. The way to fuck them is with the law. Fuck them with the law. Because that man, it was a white officer and a black officer that came to the house. When I started quoting law to him and telling him, "No, you can't remove me unless you have probable cause," Well, you need to come outside because I understand this is his apartment. I said, you see this gas bill? It's in my name. So I have legal right to be. And
that's right. You got mail there, honey. I got mail here, so that's established residency. That's right.
So this is my dwelling as well. So what else is it? He was so mad, you could tell he wanted to choke. He wanted to choke me, and I sat there and I gave him fad. Do you hear me? I said, girl, get out. You're being disrespectful. So are you, honey.
Right, dearie. Right, Miss Missy. Okay, don't fuck with me. Okay.
And if you by yourself, if they stop you and they fucking with you and you by yourself, you make a phone call so somebody can hear the conversation transact.
Right.
If you got a phone, you be on your phone. I'm on my phone talking to my lawyer. Now, you're saying I did what? You're stopping me for what?
Exactly.
Especially if you're by yourself and they can't do shit about it. Nothing about it. Right. No, I'm not staying here. For what? What are you stopping me for? And if they can't give you a probable cause, then you keep on going.
Okay.
Right.
Let me bring in 313-658. 313-658. Come on up in here, baby. What you got for me? You dishing tea?
You know I'm dishing tea, baby. You know I'm dishing tea. Baby, let me tell you, I have all of my prayer warriors on watch for the whole United States.
Yeah.
Come on. This lit match in Henderson, Missouri is about to light this country on fire.
You got it.
Now, Trayvon was the burnt match. That one got past us. But now, Americans of African descent need to know how much their United States of America really cares about them.
How about it?
It's not making any sense whatsoever about the boy being choked out, about Michael. I mean, it's over and over and over again. Why? Because they really running shit? No, you just got a badge and a gun. But I know niggas that's strapped up for real.
Okay.
And if you know like I know, you need to get your CCW because these niggas about to really act a fool once it get cold and ain't nobody got no water and they cutting electricity off now.
What?
You better preach.
Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Wait. That's right. Because what is it? It's what's the cutoff date? Is it September? No. Once it starts getting cold there, I think it's what?
August 25th.
November, March. They can't put your shit. November through March, but you got to make it that far before you can be saved.
Right.
And a lot of times, again, and that's again knowing your laws and your boundaries. You know, you can stop people from doing things, and it all comes down to our knowledge about the system, the police, the rights of the electric company, the water company, your local government.
Right, because a lot of that, since we would go right there with the local government, because a lot of folks, we're so busy worried about federal policy and carrying on with and this whole thing, they want the president to get involved in this, and they want the president to this, and they want the president to that. But here's something that I want folks to understand. Missouri, is every state of the United States govern themselves much differently than the federal government will govern it. Okay? So all of the state laws and carried on, the governor, like they do here in Georgia, there are certain things that the state will supersede the federal government.
Yeah.
Because this is how they will sit down and do this. And the same thing for your local representation. Because the local stuff will sit down and they will govern themselves based on what the states say before they do what the federal government says.
And we let it happen because we don't get out and vote for these people. We don't involve ourselves with their policy and procedures. We don't put no stress on them to act in our behalf. And the way
exactly
is through voting. How the fuck
That's right.
a seating 9 seconds and you ain't did shit. But you managed to win because you fought in civil rights. I ain't gonna mention no names, but you done been sitting in the government seat for 60 years and ain't did shit. You don't even show up at meetings, but you getting a check. You flying all over the world because of your name and your relation to MLK. Ain't gonna mention no names, but you don't do shit.
Interesting.
And got a job.
Come on now. And where can we go as just African Americans and get a job and don't do it and get paid?
Nowhere.
On a job, the first thing you learn is the procedures of where you work, firing, hiring, etc.
Exactly.
You got to know who you're working for. Because, see, a lot of times you get mistreated on a job because people are phobic. They sense that you're gay. Oh, we don't want no fags here.
Exact perception,
Well, I can't call you a fag, but if you mistype a word, I'm going to get you on that.
Exactly. Because you messed up the semicolon.
Hello, honey. If you're late, I'm going to get you for that. If you come dressed inappropriately, I'm going to get you for that. But somewhere in the rule book, it says you can't be bothered, but you didn't take time to read it, honey. You took the book and just put it in the desk.
How about it?
Even with the Trayvon thing, even though he just had the Skittles, the country is mad because they know this was just blatantly a killing and he got off. The man that shot the boys in the car, he got a ticket murder when he killed somebody.
Right.
The family sees no justice, and there's no justice here. There's nothing said. So let that have been a black man that killed somebody in the car. He's going straight to prison.
Whether it was and here's the thing: he was going to prison anyway on black crime, but he was going to do more time if it was a white boy.
Oh, honey, you already know.
And that's where it is. And then here's the ticket: if it was a white female, honey, he's doing life.
Oh yes, honey. You look at the boys that were stealing them computers out of a building in Atlanta, and they gave them 20 to 30 or something like that, 15 to 30 or something like that. It was basically life. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Right.
I know folks that have gone to jail hijacking a car. Didn't hurt nobody, just hijacked the car, and they got 20 years. The white boys that were stealing out of the buildings and hijacking and all of this, 15 years, 5 to 10, because they're white, honey. They go before a white judge. But let a black man go before a judge and ain't got nothing to say. You sit there and you don't say nothing. You let your lawyer handle it. You wonder why I'm going to prison for this.
Exactly.
You just got a white counterpart off just with probation for doing the exact same thing.
Exactly. Let me read something here from my Facebook page because I forgot about this part here. I put up on my wall this particular article from the New Yorker, and in this article it talks about the second autopsy. I'm gonna read that in a second, but the guy here, his name is Reuben Lewis. He says first he says that the media coverage is very one-sided in this. I've been seeing lots of raw footage from the ground on Twitter, and it paints an entirely different picture. And I said, explain. He says, well, you see people peacefully protesting, and officers begin to put on gas masks when there has been no violence from those in the crowds, all with timestamps. You question the police statements about violence. When you see the badgeless officers arrest journalists with no provocation because he just took video of them laughing at these animals, and then you see the terrible coverage on CNN, you know they aren't interested in telling you the whole story. So yeah, that's the other part of this, because that's the part of the outrage, is that there's been peaceful protests. Folks are up there peacefully marching and things, and yet you bring in the National Guard and carrying on. And I don't know whose call that was to do that. And, you know, I think that if I'm not mistaken, I think the president has been getting a bad rap on that, but somebody correct me on that. You know, whose call was it to bring in the National Guard? And when did they bring them in? Did they bring them in because the folks got the looting the place and fucking it up? And they needed some civil law or whatever. What was this call to bring them in? And if you got a peaceful protest going on, why are you tear gassing them and masking them down and rubber bulleting them?
The same reason they used National Guard, because he could not contain the situation.
No, that ain't what it is. The same reason they watered us during the civil rights movement, to make us move. They put water hoses on people and dogs on people because they didn't want them there and they just didn't like them. And then you talk about the media. You talk about the news. They only report the shit that they're paid to report, that they're told to report. You know, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you got to tell the story this way. If you don't tell the story this way, you're fired.
Yes, and pay attention to who they send into these areas. They send in a lot of black reporters, you know, and they're really going to have to tell it the way they want them to tell it, you know, and incite it. You know, the media incites a lot of these things themselves. Yeah.
And if you really look at it, if you look at the story for yourself and you research it yourself and then look at the way the media represents it, you're like, wait a minute, this don't deserve all this. It didn't happen like that. How many times have you seen stuff go down personally and you'd be like, this didn't happen like that, and somebody's going to prison? He didn't do it like that. You can be standing right there with him, and the police come pick him up, and you be like, no, he was just standing here. Right. You standing here, and then they come with all of this story. Next thing you know, it's on the news, the whole 9 yards. I want to take this back to the. I want to find out what these parents went through for the homosexual phobia with the baby.
Okay.
What kind of punishment are they receiving?
Right now, they're still waiting trial, honey.
Okay, and then are they free on the streets while they're waiting trial?
No. According to this article, no, they were still locked up and things, yeah.
Okay. Now, you done killed the baby because you think he's going to be gay, and you screaming. I'd be willing to bet you they screaming, it's not what God wants.
You know what? I want to follow this, but I have to really get into a safe space, because I know that somewhere in there it's going to come out of somebody's lips. If it's not theirs directly, they're going to say they grew up believing that something or shit. And that's going to, I got to prepare myself for it, because, as I said, those who have come up in this whole traditional sense of what this is, and all of us have at one point in time or another, but those who have not broken away from it, those who still want to sit down there and say that somebody's supposed to be stoned to death, or death is to say the wages of sin is death, and carrying on. You want to keep quoting that particular scripture, and yet you want to sit down here and do this to these babies. Now, see, I'm really having a problem with this, because like the other child, how the mother and the boyfriend beat the other baby because they say he was going to grow up to be gay.
Watch this turn from a criminal thing to a mental thing. They're going to swear that they were crazy. Watch it. Watch it. Yeah. They got to look at
and that's what's going to piss me off even further.
At the time.
Well, hold on, y'all. What's really funny is that they use, God said, God wants you to do this way because we don't want to have that. But in the Bible, it clearly says, judge not, lest ye be judged.
Well,
if I'm walking in a sinful manner, according to you, it's not your place to judge me. It's your place to let me get to the gates of heaven and let them deal with me.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to do anything to me. It's really, and it doesn't help the situation. That's a baby. First off, he could just be attracted to toys. Period. But
kids don't play with toys. That's all they do.
That's all they do. But hold on. Let's hear an older sister, so she had down. Baby, I used to I was the oldest, so I didn't take my sister's down. But I took my cousin's down, honey. Remember the Chrissy down with the hair?
Oh,
baby, I got my life with Chrissy. Do you hear me?
Please.
I got my life. But, again, you want to go to the church, and you want to say, oh, Reverend Pastor, he needs help because he's gay, and I just don't know what to do. So you send him for counseling with the pastor, honey, and then while he in there counseling with the pastor tries to fuck him.
Okay.
How many times does that happen, honey? I can tell you, I have had the pastor chase me around the desk in his office, come out and preach homosexuals if you get out to church. And the very ones that you see preaching all of that, honey, are now starting to come to light more and more and more. I remember how adamant what's his name is here in Atlanta. I can't even think of the man's name.
You talking about Eddie?
Eddie Long, honey. Homosexuals this, homosexuals that.
You didn't go there.
But see, and that's another thing. We, as homosexuals, as people with the alternative lifestyle, we can fuck for benefit, but we take the basket. You got to stand up for what you know is right, because if you continually listen to these people bash you about what you do and then fuck you behind closed doors, don't want to necessarily be seen to you unless you're screaming, oh, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. You got the reverends in Detroit that, it's a group, it's a family with singers. It's about 10, 12 of them. Name stars with B and C. You get caught smoking crack and get your car stolen on Davidson, honey. Ain't gonna mention no names, but I remember when your song came out, y'all was all at Todd in a Mercedes, honey. I ain't telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I saw, honey. And then when they see you again, because they recognize you, because you saw them, then they want to get new. But they never read you. They know not.
So they put a bounty on your head.
Oh, child, please. Guess what?
Here's the ticket, honey.
I thought they said the God they serve is the truth of the truth. It'd be different if I was lying.
And here's the ticket, honey.
But if you're listening,
I'm not calling no names. But one of the things that you do when truth go forth, honey, now you know just as much as I do. So now they can't kill everybody.
Honey, and then, this the real honey. You move in your other gospel singing friend in the basement, honey, and you're fucking him, and you and your wife break up. Ask me how I know. But that's just more evidence of, and then the one that was in the basement comes out and renounces homosexuality. I'm changed. I'm healed.
Don't you start!
You know
don't you do it?
About.
Don't you fucking do it? Don't you do it? Because you know every time that would get my nerve. Don't you do me? Don't you do me? And then you gonna sit there and call somebody else out about how wrong they are.
Come on. Oh, you can redeem.
Don't you do it? Don't you do it?
But that's my very point. You're now doing it, and the only reason you came out is because you got caught, honey. They caught you. So now you got to say, oh, I'm not homosexual no more. Thank you, Jesus. But yet and still, you still practicing. If you ever see the family members, honey, you just be like, he's gay. He's gay.
Okay.
How many children in the church, honey? I mean, they be hallelujah and they're falling out, honey. And you know, homosexuality is a sin, and you go into jail, honey. And then you see them at somebody's house sucking dick.
Right.
Or
having lunch at the latest gay restaurant, honey. That's the one I ran into, bumped into him. I was like,
Right, honey. You know, you in the church, if you a singer, which I happen to be, honey, you at somebody's house, honey, and you look at the girls that's directing the choir or part of the church in some capacity, and you just hanging out at somebody's house, and here they come out the room wiping their lips. You know, and then they the first one to say, oh, you're homosexual, you're going to hell in a handbasket. Well, baby, wrong. Well, where are you going if you're trying to fuck me?
Right.
And see, and this is the thing. The kids that are benefiting from their discretion don't speak out about it. They sit there and listen to them talk about going to hell for being gay.
Right. And see, that's where the brainwashing comes in, because a lot of that, see, this is where this comes into play. And see, we're talking about now when they got to that point where they have some sense, you know, and this, that, and the other, and they in these churches and things because this is what they've grown up into. You know, that's the flip side of the coin from this baby, because the baby ain't got to church yet. The mom and the daddy said they're trying to beat the devil out of them because they said, oh, you know what I'm saying? So that there, darling, I just have a problem, and here is where, and we said they're going to get off, and somebody going to try to pull this little mental health thing, and they just crazy, this, that, and the other. But let's look at that very seriously, because part of my argument with that is let's look at the mental health crisis, because it is absolutely a pandemic, because nobody wants to talk about mental health. And one of the things that we don't want to believe is that the church is directly responsible for some of this bullshit.
Well, why don't we? They're just humans like we are. You know,
exactly.
It's funny. When people come at me about being gay or whatever, or talk to me about being gay, who are my so-called straight friends, I just had this happen, and you and I just talked about it. Good friend of mine, we've been friends for years, and they tell me they want to fuck me and show me they dick. And I'm like, we about it. Now, trust me, when you see them in the streets, they got the gold grill on, baby. They giving you thugs. I mean, just hard thug, and all of a sudden you want to fuck me, and you attracted to my bosom, honey. What the hell? But even more importantly, you're hiding in the church, and we talk about them getting a trial or whatever. If they end up going in for mental health as crazy, they're going to do maybe 5 months, because the crazy house is overpacked, and they're going to sit there and talk to them, and then all you got to do is get in there and shake it off and say, oh, what did I do? I'm so sorry. And they're going to let you go.
Right, because that becomes a gimmick. Exactly.
Exactly. And you're going to come back to the community.
TV, Eric Holder is to arrive in Ferguson, Missouri shortly.
How do you justify plants that mate with each other? How do you justify gay animals, lions, goats, all of that. There's homosexuality in every part of nature.
Exactly.
From man to the weeds and bushes. How do you justify that? God created all of them. How do you justify it? So everybody, some people choose to be this way. No, baby, it wasn't a choice. It's just who I am.
Okay.
I tried it your way, honey, and I didn't like it, honey. This is what you get. But it's not about them giving us respect as much as it is about us respecting ourselves. And the thing that really pisses me off with this baby, he had no choice. He had no choice. You killed him before he really had a choice to come out and tell you who he was. At that age, baby, you on either side of the fence. You playing with G.I. Joe and the Chrissy doll. What the hell? What the fuck? He is an innocent baby that has no known choice. You kill him for what you think he is or what he thinks he's going to become? Well, let's kill all these fucking motherfuckers that think Obama is a curse.
Right.
Or what you think he is. Let's kill all these motherfuckers who don't vote but got so much to say and want to run around and kill people. Let's kill all these bastards with badges that are killing people because you say they stole Skittles. You killed him for Skittles. Really, bitch? No, you killed him because you attacked him and he was whooping your ass. Well, let's kill the judges that let you go on some bullshit.
Okay, if that's supposed to be the solution. Right.
Exactly. Let's kill these motherfuckers in Missouri that killed this boy and didn't really give him an option. You killed him because you knew if you'd have got out the car trying to fuck with him, he was going to beat your ass. Let's take it exactly where it is and stop giving credit. And the way you address it is legally. If you have witnesses and you call somebody over so that you're not the only one, honey, they're gonna back off. Especially young black men, please be smart enough to have a voice to say, hey, they fucking with me. Y'all come over here. I need witnesses.
Exactly. Okay. Oh. Okay. Eyewitness means that, honey.
That's how they had to do in the 60s. Hey.
Right.
I need witnesses. It just makes no sense. And I'm so tired of us allowing ourselves to be abused, allowing ourselves to be killed, allowing ourselves to be mistreated because we want to say fuck the police, but we ain't got no witnesses to say that they mistreat us. How often are there witnesses standing right there to say this is what happened? Now they got
and then let's go here. Let's go here because damn it, there's two caveats to that. Number one, I need to make sure that you're going to be a credible witness. I don't need you to sit down here lying on some bullshit because you mad. Okay? That's the first thing. Okay? The second thing of this is to make sure, darlings, that you're going to sit down there and get your information together. You need to know your rights as a citizen if you're going to lay witness on this. You got to sit down there and know how to take the name down, how to get the badge number, or at least understand where you are. It is the law says that you as a citizen have the right to record, to witness as long as you are, I think it's, 100 feet? Or at least you're not in the area where you are interfering and disrupting what's going on.
And to call for witnesses. And that's why you call for witnesses instead of a witness.
Yes.
See, they don't know, they don't understand the situation I was talking to you about with the police at the apartment. I asked for his badge number first.
Right.
And the black officer was sitting there, and he was like, damn, you kind of know something. I was in the military, boo, first read. Second read, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way because you're white you're not right because you're white.
Right.
You knocked on my door. I'm in here. I'm sober. I'm clean. Ain't shit going on, and you gonna come to the door and tell me to come outside for what? Give me a reason. What did I do?
Exactly. Here is the other caveat to this thing here, and God help me, because I don't know what this is particularly in the black community, because we do this all the time. We beat our kids' asses. We tell them to tell the truth, but then we beat their asses and call them a snitch. You don't tell me snitching on nobody. Okay, you keep your mouth shut. You beat their ass and tell them to tell the truth. Then you beat their ass because you tell them they need to learn how to keep their mouth shut. When it comes down to this, there's no such thing as I ain't no damn snitch. What the hell is that?
Especially dealing with government. Baby, our only defense is mutual knowledge of how it happened. And we have to respect one another enough to say, hey, I need witnesses.
Right.
Because, see, honey, if you got people right up on you, it changes their behavior.
Yes.
Their behavior, because now you got enough people seeing what they're doing to break it up.
Okay, exactly. Number one.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna curtail how they treat you if you got people standing with you.
Exactly.
They're going to curtail it. You know, if you feel it's getting out of hand, you can call for witnesses to this situation.
Okay.
And I mean, and when you got witnesses, you see, just watch how it curtails. Even like if you wrong, you wrong.
Right.
If you wrong. You got to deal with some shit to get out of it. But when you ain't did shit, when you done bought the Skittles, what you running from the motherfucker for?
Okay.
Hey, I need witnesses. But we're taught to fear the police. We're taught to fear authority. When you look at Detroit with that boy that whooped the security guy's ass in school, how all that went down. We're taught to either fear authority or say, fuck the police, from the song in the 90s.
Okay.
Fuck the police. You ain't shit. And then when you whoop their ass, believe you me, they waiting on that boy. They gonna get him. They mount up against you, but you have to have knowledge about the system and what your rights are. And it starts first with saying, hey, I need a witness. Especially on the streets as a person of color. And it ain't just limited to black. You know, the Arabs here get the same shit. The Chinese here get the same shit. And then when you look at it, they the motherfuckers going into the schools, killing all these people and nutting up, honey, and, you know. Not the black folks.
Okay, right.
The black folks, we don't do that. You know, we might whoop one person's ass, but I mean, they're killing 20 and 30 people, honey. They close in school.
Right. You know what? I'm trying to think. Someone posted that somewhere about that. You know, they were saying the whole idea of this is we have to really understand when it comes down to mass killings, honey. You know, there's a lot of that. A lot of people end up forgetting that the Columbines and the movie house theater, you know, that was white on white crime. And them children, you know, went up in there killing these folks like that. And we have to really understand that, you know, this here, when we looking at overall killings and carrying on, the mass killings and things it has not been black on black like that unless it was gang related. All that stuff that hit the media and carrying on that gets police attention has always been white on white, with these folks losing their minds and going up in here the way that they have militia style. But all the time that we have had any kind of militia style killings like this has always been a police thing like this.
Exactly. And let me ask you this about the Columbines and all of that. what have you heard about how they were prosecuted?
You know what? We have not heard about the prosecution. No, we have not.
Boom.
We've heard them going to trial.
Honey Boom. Now,
Yeah.
talk about how they try to prosecute Trayvon, but he was okay.
Yeah, because and see what they did was they prosecuted him in the media, because then all of a sudden, because like they're trying to do now with this Mike Brown boy, you know, they done sit up there and put pictures up about him holding up gang signs or these little poses with the little signs or whatever in his poses. They criticizing the kind of music he was listening to, where he was listening to a lot of that gangster violent rap. You know, They want to connect him to the negative things for the police. They want to associate him with the negativity associated with society. So they have a reason to justify their mistreatment of him. But and which is very interesting, because with the Columbine children and the guy who in the movie theater house or whatever, when they did their background check, they always went to character. They didn't do a character assassination. They always went to character morale. Well, he comes from this kind of family, and his mother was this, and he was raised in this kind of church, and the neighborhood didn't understand how is he. He was always the quiet guy. They always went to those kinds of character breakdowns with these children.
They went supportive characteristics. They didn't bash him and say, "What's the boys that bombed the Boston Relay?" That killed all those people.
They call them the terrorist children because they came from one of them.
You know, they foreigners, so they got terrorist labels. But what have you heard about them since then?
Nothing, not a damn thing. You're right. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I ain't heard a damn thing.
They still talking about Trayvon off and on in the media.
No, wait a minute. They just sit up there and compared it, just like the comparisons to this. I just saw this little child on YouTube who's anti-Obama just sit up there and made the comparison about how this is a smokescreen diversion, just like Trayvon was, and carrying on. And now we're using this again. So the comparisons are there. Even I just made a comparison about how similar it was, because Trayvon was in a neighborhood that he didn't live in. He was visiting his dad. This child is in this neighborhood visiting his grandmother, you know, and both of them were in suburbs of a city.
And if you're talking about a community, you're talking about a community police officer cruising, they know their population.
Exactly.
So I see you from somewhere else. Who the fuck are you? I got to let you know I'm the boss. I got to let you know I'm in control. And that's that attitude. That's that mini-me attitude. I got picked on as a kid. I finally got a badge on my side. I can fuck over you now. I can tell you what to do. I'm the big man now. You know, even though I got a little dick, and even though I like, you know what I'm saying, I'm the big man now. Even though I'm only 5'4". And my booty hole, if you look up in it, you can crawl in the motherfucker.
Right.
You know, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I've got some power.
I got a little piece of power. Right. I got some chutzpah.
You stop. You don't question me, because I'm in charge. Well, baby, when you know you're right, you stop them right where and it fucks them up, because they expect us to be dumb, young, and full of cum. We don't know shit. You look at the people who are killed. How many adults are killed this way?
Exactly.
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 It's always kids. It's always kids.
Exactly. Ain't that nothing?
You know. Because, see, we've learned older. Okay, you coming at me foul, honey. I ain't going to say nothing. What you want? No, you can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. But the kids, and even though their attitude is justified, you have to learn how to present it. It's just like culinary arts, honey, when you trying to win the trophy. The plate has to look a certain way.
That's right. Okay. Okay.
You know.
And it ain't about whether or not you're a good cook or not, honey. That plate got to look right.
Honey, the presentation.
Okay, because we all know the best food come out of them damn greasy spoons, honey, that don't pass a damn inspection, honey. However.
Honey.
Right.
If you don't have the right presentation, you deal with situations like this, because a lot of kids is like, what the fuck you want? You can't fuck with me. And then they end up in a box. I hate to say it that way, but that's the reality.
And that's what it is, because of the kids nowadays. And see, these are our babies, honey. So this is our fault. Where we dropped the ball at, I wonder. You know, there's a myriad of answers, but these kids, honey, are not being taught on how to present themselves because they're so angry. And everything about this is about making sure that they get heard and you ain't going to punk me out and, you know, trying to show how hard they are or whatever, and that they don't know. See, back in my day, we had to learn how to take an ass whooping. Okay?
Hello.
If you got all that mouth, honey, that means and sometimes you just had to take an ass whooping. Okay, because you wasn't going to whoop the world. You can't whoop the world. You know, and it was okay. As long as you knew how to stand up for yourself, you knew how to take your ass whooping in style and still live to see the next day.
And taking an ass whooping gives you an appreciation of giving one. You got to go for the ass whooping it feels like in order to give one.
Exactly.
You know, and then you look at our culture right now with the parents being strung out on drugs. A lot of these kids think they grown at 10 and 11. They got to feed themselves. They got to clothe themselves. They got to get out here on the streets and make a living. They think they the man of the house.
Right.
They the man of the house. And not only do they got to feed themselves, they got to feed the brothers and sisters and the mama, because she only giving them oodles of noodles because she done spent every dime of the check.
That child said oodles of noodles. Okay, wait a minute. Let me press a pause right here because we're down to the last 60 seconds. If you're listening by computer, this is going to stop streaming. If you're listening by phone, just stay on. You'll catch everything. Whatever you miss by computer, you can go catch it in the archives because everything will be there for you. So let me say thank you right now because I'm going to say,
Hello?
I guess he go.
Dixon? Who is this?
Caroline Gina Dixon.
Hi. You know who it is, Dixon.
Who?
Johnson.
Oh, no. I know who it is.
Is this Dixon?
No. This is Curtis.
I know. I'm 313658.
At Carrabba's Italian Grill, people always seem to be saying, wow! Especially now, because you can take home our delicious sauté-to-order spaghetti and homemade meatballs made with our family recipe absolutely free.
Homemade spaghetti and meatballs for free? Just wow!
Order one of your Carrabba's favorites, Chicken Brian, Chicken Marsala, Pollo Rosa Maria, or our Chicken Trio, and take home made-from-scratch spaghetti and meatballs.
For tomorrow night's dinner, free? Wow!
Hurry into Carrabba's today and get free spaghetti and meatballs for tomorrow. Limited time only, now through May 6th. Carrabba's, Italian worth talking about.